And we are live. Patricia, thank you
Fantastic.
for coming on to the after show live with me.
Yes.
First
I
of all, I wanted to ask, like, because when I interviewed you, when we had our conversation for the show, that was the third show in, and I've just started to get my groove, I think, for the show. What did you think of the show? How did you think that it went?
I liked it. I think it's very informative for your audience. And I was really glad to have a part of what you're doing to help others understand leadership and going after what they want. So I was excited about it. I
Yeah.
think these are the things that we need in our society today.
Oh, I agree with you so much, and I was just so glad to have you on too, because
Thank
I
you.
knew that you would the show is called Mind Shift, and what better person to be on the show talking about this than you, who, I keep saying this again, and I really truly mean it, but you are a big inspirational part of a big kind of a time of my life and a catalyst. And so it's just so awesome to have you on the show for the audience and to kind of reconnect too, just so we can bring it all together for everybody and kind of so they can kind of see where how this all came about. So
Yes.
for me, it's really cool to have you on the show.
Well, thank
And
you. Nice
yeah,
to hear.
and you
What
have
else?
such a good mindset, that it is, like I say, it's so infectious, and it can't help but just intrigue you and captivate you. So what you kind of talked about this a little bit, but
Hmm?
really, where do you think that all came from? Like, how do you have so much optimism? You're a visionary, and where do you think that all comes from, this passion that you have?
I think I love life. I always say that life is a gift. The way we wrap it is our choice. And
Yes.
every day I just was talking to some clients today, and I was coaching. However, we were laughing and being playful. And I said, I hope you don't see me as a coach who has no intelligence, but we got a lot done. So I think sometimes we get too serious about life and we
Yeah.
forget to be grateful and have fun. So I just want to live every day. I always say that I'm a cheerleader. I like to turn can'ts into cans and dreams into plans for people, for myself too. Yes.
Yes, and I like how you say it's so perfect. Like, life's a gift. It's how you wrap it.
Yes.
It's so. I love how you put that. For me too, I thought of it as this, and maybe you probably can relate too. But I always thought too, life is like a masterpiece, like a painting. You know.
Yes.
So how do you want your masterpiece to look? Like, how are you going to paint it?
Yes.
It's kind of the same kind of a metaphor, kind of a thing. Like, what are you
Yes.
going to do with it? Really, like, what are you
Right.
going to do with it? And your joy, your spirit, I think, is what we need right now, more than anything. So everyone, if you guys are tuning into the live, maybe catching on the replay, we have Patricia Leonard on the show with us right now. She was just on our show, the third mind shift so far, and she's just here to answer any questions that you might have. So feel free to ask any questions in the comments, and feel free to engage with us. So Patricia, I wrote a few notes while I was watching the show again, because I just watched it,
Okay.
and we were talking about 2020 vision, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
the decade of opportunities. And some people might be thinking, what? Like, what are you? Are you crazy? Like, some people might have that mindset. Like, I'm with you on this, but some people might not be able to grasp, like, what are we talking about here? How can there be opportunity? What are we seeing that they're not seeing? What are we seeing?
Well,
What are they seeing that I'm not
right.
seeing?
Right. And that is very true. I truly believe there's a book that I like, and I can't remember if I mentioned this or not, but it's called Necessary Endings. So, by Dr. Henry Cloud.
Yes.
And what he talks about is we can't have a new beginning until we have an ending. Now, I would not say that this disruption was exactly what we wanted. However, it has caused a mind shift in who we are, how we treat others, and how we think about business. Many of us are working from home. So it's created a mind shift that was so critical as we move forward into 2020, because 2020 is more about a linear thinking process, where this is much more a visionary. It's almost like waking up and stepping into a new possibility of what is available. Look what small businesses have done. They've turned their businesses around, even though it looked like the end, and they started delivering and food, and big businesses have let people work at home or have encouraged them. So we're learning a lot. I'm part of the Women in Film and Television. I'm on the board here in Nashville, Tennessee, and we're going to do a 3-day summit totally online. So that way people can all over the world can come to the summit, international. So it's opening up doors for people who can't afford certain things, who can't travel to certain things. So if we can look at the optimistic side and shift our mind from, oh, ain't it awful, we lost all this, to what we might be gaining. And that's why I really see this from my 2020 glasses, from my vision, is looking out there and saying that we are moving into a new generation, which is about creation and exploration.
Yeah, and it's so exciting. I think you're absolutely right. It's kind of your perspective, like gratitude, or how do you get into that mode of optimism? Maybe it's not something to be positive about, because I think positive is different than optimism, in a little bit of a way. So yeah, it's not what we wanted. No, none of us wanted this, but in a lot of ways, like you said, we may have needed it. It might be this wake up call that we really needed as a society with our, civil issues that are going on right now, but also with a lot of issues that we have, maybe with corporate and maybe with, different things that are happening.
Yes.
And I think you kind of cut onto this too. It kind of levels the playing field for small businesses, for entrepreneurs. Like,
Yes.
That's where I get really excited. Like, if you're an entrepreneur, I think you're out there just right now, like really being able to see the opportunities. Like you just said, the summit that you're having, completely all online.
Exactly.
And in a way, this opens up to a greater audience, and so more people can participate. So that's actually a huge plus.
It makes us get creative, Josh. And I think we get in our comfort zone, that we get the mindset of, we know everything, it's here, and we just get in our comfort zone. And to have something like this, which I wouldn't ask for this be the way we wake up, but it gives us a mind shift into a whole different avenue of what is possible. What is possible? So we start creating, we start using our mind in a real different way. This is really cool, crazy, but I hope your audience is listening, because my work has picked up, my coaching work, because more people are saying, you know what, I'm at a crossroads right now, and they're getting a whole different mind shift about what they want to do with their career next. One woman wants to write a book. And I just think, I think sometimes we get stuck in our own life, in our own path. And sadly, this disruption was not the way we wanted to shift our minds. But you said another thing that I think is really important, and that is gratefulness. Can I tell this story?
Please, yes.
Yes. I've got a little purple frog, and I don't know if I had this in there or not, a little purple frog by the front door. And so every morning when I get up, I walk into my entry door and I look at that little purple frog and I say, thank you so much for everything you give me. And then I look up and I say, God, and thank you too. So I walk around gratefulness. You said it. So important for the mindset that we need to pull us through in moments like this.
Absolutely, and to get that optimism, because we are going to get through this. And so many people are going to realize the potential that they have
Yeah.
and be able to utilize it in this year as we end it, in the years to
Yes.
come. This whole decade, I think, is just going to be exciting. Yes, it's challenging and uncertain, and that can create some levels of fear. But if we realize, you have something to say about fear, I know you do.
No, but I had something to say about uncertainty, because
Oh,
in uncertain times, which you
mm,
just brought up, we get more creative and we get less
yes.
fearful because
Okay.
we have to do something. So I love what you said. Yes.
That's true. And you mentioned it too before, is it forces out creativity. It forces
Yes.
us to pivot. Like we've been talking about, pivot, pivot, pivot. It's forcing us to pivot, to be more creative. And that's what we're seeing. Like, just we're seeing things change, and some things that we haven't thought about before. And
Yes.
kind of we're like, well, why didn't we think about that before? But now it's forcing us to get creative, to get through this. And that's to me, that's the exciting part.
Right. There's I love Shakespeare, and I can't remember what all I said on the show, but I love Shakespeare. And he wrote the Tempest, the play Tempest. And I remember everybody was, the storm came and they were thrown up on this island, and they started fighting and trying to get whatever they could do to survive. And all of a sudden, they realized that if they want to survive, they have to work together. And I think that's where we are, is beginning
Mm,
to appreciate and respect what we have, and working together more than we ever have. It's going to be it is a fabulous time for all of us, for our careers, for our families, for everything. Uh,
Yeah,
um,
it really is. And we're seeing it in the hearts, of our youth too. We're seeing, so many just
yeah,
come together. It's bringing us together to make this change and it's just so exciting. Yes, it's uncertain, but like you said, it forces us to do creativity, and through
yes,
that, it makes us less fearful, because we're figuring out that we can get through this. We don't have to be afraid. We
right.
can come together and get through this.
And I think one thing about the truth is, we never know the future. And here
Mm,
is where we are. The only thing we ever have available to us is we can glance back at the past, and we have the present. So I
mm,
think our attitude in the present, the gratefulness, the optimism, and yes, we don't know what's ahead. But if you take the attitude that I know it's going to be great, we didn't come here for nothing. If you take that attitude that you're going to go in and create a future that is even better than the one you have now, I think it'll help you stay more hopeful and less or fearful about stepping in. There's a book that's called Even Eagles Need a Push. And I think
mm.
even the best of us need a push now and then to say, okay, take another step. And then you got a better view, and take another step. And now you got another view, and take another step. So if we could just tiptoe in forward, it'll
Yeah.
change our mindset, and we'll start to see possibility. Yes. Yes.
Absolutely. And that's what this show is all about. That's what you're all about, is just, I want to be a part of that, to show, like, look, there's people like you right now doing amazing things and spreading your message of positivity and optimism. And that's what we need right now. So that's what I'm here to do, is just spreading the messages and making sure that people realize and have a resource to go to for this motivation, for this positivity. And if
Yes.
they need help, to reach out. So
Yes.
again, just thank you for all you're doing. Thank you for, you're a true guiding light, and just thank you so much.
Well, I think it's interesting because I like to watch all of the things that are coming out here now to support this transition, like your podcast, and like other people are doing live shows like this. But that helps with the transition, because it gives people positive while they're sitting at home, and they can join. Tomorrow night, Nashville, and that's where I'm at, but Nashville is having the AMC on television. Most people would never get to go to the Academy of Country Music Awards, but they can see it on television now. So, right in their home, they get to go to the awards show and see all the professional singers. So it's open up doors. And this is what makes me so excited is, and have
Yeah.
a real positive attitude about this time, is there's a segment of our society, Josh, that cannot afford some of this stuff that
Mm.
is made available online, like your coaching shows that you're doing. They couldn't go out and afford a coach, but they can watch your show and get coaching from either guests that you have or yourself. It's a new time, and bravo for the for you that it are reaching people that maybe would never have the chance to hear some of this stuff.
Yeah, thank you so much. It means a lot, really, Patricia, really does. And like you said, you're absolutely right. This is, maybe you can't afford it, but you can come on here, you can watch these
Yes.
episodes, you can listen to the podcast, and really get some great advice and direction
Yes.
to, at least spark something, because Patricia sparked something in me, guys. And I'm telling you, I'm hoping to do the same for you too, just to keep that spark going is really what this is all about. Keeping that mind shift, going. It's a collective mind shift.
Right. And I don't know, you tell me but I
Yeah.
have a grandson that is 8 years old, and I may have told this, I can't remember, but I asked, okay, I told him I wasn't going to get him any toys for Christmas when he was 6 years old. And he said, what are you going to do? And I said, well, I've been thinking about you writing a book. And he said, well, Mom, Pat, I'm only 6 years old. I can't write a book. And here was a mind shift, Josh. This is something I wanted to share with your audience. I said,
Hmm.
Joshua, don't ever, or Joshua, I said, Gavin, don't ever tell Mom, Pat, you can't do anything, or anybody else. You never know till you step into it, but you got to have an attitude and a mindset that I can do it. So he has a book on Amazon now,
Wow.
and he sells at least two a month, and he's only 8 now. So we did that 2 years
Wow.
ago. Yes. So I shifted his mind, and guess what he did the following summer? He was 7 then. He started his own business. He grows succulents and puts them in little pots, and then stands along the street by their house in California, and he'll wave people down and they come and buy them. So it
Wow.
shifted his mind to think that
Yes.
things are possible. So
Yes.
we just have to keep helping people see. And your show is one that if you shift your mind to think about this ain't awful, it could be an opportunity, then you take a whole new movement forward. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. And what a great mind shift to instill in young Gavin at 6 years old. Wow, that's gonna just propel him. He's gonna always have that. And that's just what a
Yes.
gift that is. What a gift
You know
that is. I
what
have
we're
to
going
say,
to do? Here's what we're going to do next. We're going to get someone to this. I think this is what I'll get him for Christmas this year, is get that interpreted in Spanish.
oh, there you
Yeah,
go.
so we can reach more people, because I want I want these young I just want to help people get
Yes,
out of
yes,
wherever they are and have a better quality of life. So I think
absolutely.
that I'm going to propose that to him when I go out at Thanksgiving.
That is
Yeah.
so awesome. That's so awesome. I have to say, quick hi to David. He's in the comments right now. So
Hi,
David, the editor
David.
producer, he said hi, Patricia. So I
Hi,
just wanted to,
David. Nice to see you. Thanks
yeah, I
for
wanted to
joining us.
absolutely. What an amazing guy David is too. That's what's so cool is connecting with just amazing, like-minded people. And just seeing what we can do with it, seeing what we can do with our
Yes.
talents, and just really good to see you too, David. He said, "Hi guys, nice to see you." It's good to see you too,
Nice
David.
to
Thank
see
you.
you. Yes.
Yeah. So, wow.
Yes. It's just amazing the impact we can have just by thinking a little bit outside the box to help others shift their mind and shift into more optimistic. He was real excited when I sat down and started interviewing him, and he would answer the questions, and then I would just type it in the computer. By the time I left, I had a rough draft, and he said, Mom, Pat, I got a book. You see, his mind shifted from I can't do that to I'm excited, I got a book. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It
And it's
must be
the same way
very.
with it. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. Yep, sorry. I
No, I was
apologize.
just going to say it's the same way with adults. They get as excited as I just worked with two guys today, and clients, I should say, and they were so excited by the time we got done talking about career possibilities for them. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, I bet that must be so rewarding because you get to see that in adults. You get to see that in, we're talking, middle-aged people making some career changes for the first time, really seeing some opportunities. And even they, I'm sure, well, you saw me too, just light up and they, glow. So that has to be rewarding to see that and to be able to instill that in people.
And Josh, some of them have lost their jobs, but when you can create a mindset, just like you were saying, it makes that they didn't even know that these skills were transferable to another industry, or they
Mm,
didn't even know the skills they had. Is that a skill? They'd say. And here they are, adults, and they have families, but they didn't know because nobody ever told them. How sad. How sad.
yes. That's what saddens me the most is, you know, just the youth and just the lost opportunity and just,
Yes.
the people out there without these guiding lights. And I guess that's why I do what I'm doing, is to be the guiding light. Hopefully I can be some sort of a guiding light along the way. And hopefully someone can see the light that I'm trying to shine out there. And,
Yes.
yeah, like you said, watch these shows, watch David, watch DeAndre and all the great guests that we're going to have on the show,
Yes.
and
Yes.
reach people. That's the whole goal of the show. So again,
Yes.
thank you for being a part of it.
Oh, it's
Um,
exciting. Thank you.
Thank you. I know you just hopped on the live after a hard workout. So thank you
Yes.
so much for coming on the live with us, Patricia. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much, Josh. Good luck. Keep
Thank you.
positive.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Okay.
Everyone, that was Patricia. She joined us for the live and available to kind of dig in a little bit deeper. When you do the show, like when I'm doing this show, a lot of times, you're trying to get in questions and you're trying to get into things within a certain amount of time, right? So you have a certain time frame. So that's why these after lives I think are so cool, because we can kind of take the time to kind of deep dive into some of these areas that were brought up on the show. And then also, if you guys have any questions, now's the time so if you're catching this on the replay, make sure you join the next after live. That way you can get in there, ask questions that you might have. And you know what? If you're joining the live and you have questions about maybe a guest or 2 or 3 ago, don't be afraid to ask any questions, because that's what this live is all about. It's to answer your questions. Excuse me. It's to engage and again, be a guiding light, be a source, be a tool for you to use on your path to self-discovery and your path to success. Thanks again so much for Patricia to join the live. She came out of a workout session, and so to join the live, and so I really appreciate her for spending the time to do that. I want to throw up her information so you can see that there, guys. If you want to learn more about her, she is, guys, someone who is a true guiding light. She really is, and she's helping so many people. I've seen her help people who were in the middle of a career change, in the middle of some sort of I'm not sure what to do next moment. And she really works with you to figure out what you want to do and get you there. So there's her information right there. It's patricialeonard.net. So go there if you have any questions for her whatsoever. Guys, thank you for joining the after show live. I really appreciate that. The intent and the goal is, after every show, we're going to have the guest on to talk about and deep dive into some of the areas like Patricia just did here as well, and as David did after his live, so after his show. So far, guys, I'm just so amazed with the support and the feedback of the show. I really, we've kind of talked about this before. with David and I. This show is bigger than me. It's always meant to have been bigger than me. It's not about me at all. It's about the guests, and it's about what they have to say. It's about their message, and it's about you. How is their message impacting you? And what can you take away from it? I believe there's always something we can take away from someone else's story. We can gain some understanding, some insight, and a level of empathy, right? And that's what's going to ultimately bring us together. As you just heard Patricia say, and as we all know, 2020 really struck us with a blow that we didn't want. It came out of nowhere and hit us pretty hard, but it might have been just the thing that we needed, a wake up call. And I, at some levels, really, truly, honestly believe this myself. In so many aspects of our society, in so many aspects of our own health and our own accountability, in our own part that we play in our own lives. It might be a wake-up call we might have needed, and it is uncertain. But this is where we get creative. This is where we link up with one another. This is where we connect with one another, with like-minded people. And this is where we forge a path through all this, using our creative talents, using our God-given talents that we have to help one another, to create. And that's what we're doing. That's what David has done with this show. Created, I believe, a really, really awesome show. And that's what we're working towards, just creating a piece of resource that hopefully is shining out there, and hopefully that someone can pick up on when they might need it, to guide them in the right direction. So if you're watching, please go ahead and share. Remember to share. Sharing is key. So please go ahead and share the episodes, share the broadcast. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you would like us to notify you when a new Mind Shift drops, turn on the notification bell. That way you can get reminded when a new Mind Shift premieres and not miss a single episode, like a guest that we've had on, like David Rubalcava, like Patricia Leonard, like DeAndre Wilson. And we have some great ones coming up as well, guys. It's only going to get better from here. It's only going to improve and expand and evolve. And again, this is all about you. So if you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to comment them. I try to keep an eye on the comments so that I can answer any questions you might have. It's just super important to me that I'm available to answer your questions. So comment, and we'll answer your questions. And like I said, if you're watching, so maybe you're watching next live, right? And you wanted to ask something about Patricia or David or DeAndre, never hesitate to ask any question about any guest or anything you want to talk about. Maybe you have something you want to bring up and talk about it. Now's your chance to talk about it. We can help you in any kind of a way that we can with what we have as far as experience and knowledge. If you're wondering still who I am, please go to www.hellomynameisjosh.com. That's www.hellomynameisjosh.com. And any questions offline. So you can also email me at hellomynameisjosh.com. And I'll be happy to answer your questions there. Guys, next Mind Shift will be next Tuesday, of course, 6 p.m. Central. And remember, I'm doing a live this Thursday as well, 6 p.m. Central, where, again, I will be talking about another topic. And certainly, if you have any questions there, you can go ahead and, chime in with something that you're wondering about, maybe about the show, maybe about David, the editor-producer, who I talk a lot about, and I will continue to, because he's a great person, great talent, and doing great things for this show. Maybe you're wondering something about that aspect behind the scenes as far as production goes. Maybe you have questions about a guest, or maybe there's something I'm talking about you have a question about too. Please go ahead, and that's the opportunity and time to chime in and ask a question. So I look forward to the lives, actually, because it does give me an opportunity to sort of deep dive and really spend some time on the subject. Again, when you're doing an episode, doing a show, it's a little bit different because you're trying to hit the points and get that flow going. So this gives me a time to just kind of slow it down, slow the pace down, answer questions, and really engage in deep dive. So looking forward to that. Guys, thanks for tuning in to today's show. I thought today's show was great. Again, Patricia is a mentor to me. She has been. Maybe she didn't even know it, but she certainly was. And I think you can see why. I just really hope you like the show and look forward to the next one, because we have another great show coming up for you next Tuesday, 6 p.m. Central. Guys, with that, I think I'm going to go ahead and end it. Again, I just can't say thank you enough for tuning into the live. Also, I think it's just going to get better and better and more improved as we go on. So thank you so much. And I think actually the audio is sounding good. So I think I figured that out too. So that's a plus. At any rate, guys, thank you so much. Again, I can't say thank you enough. Until next time, I'll talk to you later.